Hi, buddy. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and I just wanted to make a real quick video about my schedule over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a little bit hectic. I'm going to be traveling a little bit. We have some guests visiting me for a little bit. So I just want to go over what you can expect to come out over the next couple of weeks. So first up, from tonight, August 3rd through the 5th, there's not going to be a night stream. So I'm sorry about that, but my in-laws are in town, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, to visit our daughter primarily. They live a couple of states away, so they don't get to come up very often. And they're going to be sleeping in this room. This is our guest bedroom, and this is also where I produce my videos. So I can't make the videos. They go to sleep kind of early, and so I can't obviously make the videos while they're trying to sleep in the background. So that's not going to work, unfortunately. However, I am going to try to do a 3-hour afternoon stream on the 4th and the 5th. So Friday, Saturday, I'm going to start at around 11 a.m. And then go until 2 p.m. Now, those times are going to be a little bit flexible. We'll have to see what's going on, but that's what I'm aiming for, is that window. I might stay a little bit later. I might show up a little bit later, but I think that's what we're going to be aiming for. Just to give you some live content. I know not a lot of people can make that because, you know, it's different, right? Like, people are going to be at work, people are going to be doing different stuff. That is really friendly for our European viewers. They did like that when I came home from the hospital. And I think that's kind of nice that people who don't get to see me live get to see me live a little bit when I do some of these afternoon streams. So that's just going to be available if you're interested in that. And of course, you can always catch the VOD later if that doesn't suit your schedule. But that's what we're going to be aiming for. And then I also will release some VODs as well. So I know I'm going to probably release some Recon, maybe Nami, maybe Sona. I'll have to see what I have stored up, what I can upload. But I will be releasing some VODs as well to sort of fill that gap. And then I'm going to try to catch up on some guides too. There are a ton of guides that I really need to produce and start doing. And I'm going to try to do at least one per day over the next little bit. And I've got some coaching sessions lined up. So there will be a lot of content still coming out on the channel. I'm going to keep releasing Total War Warhammer stuff. I've got a bunch of pre-recorded videos of those I'm going to release. So there's still going to be a lot of stuff. There's just not going to be the live stream at its usual time. It's just going to have to be a bit earlier. Okay, and then next week, starting on the Thursday of next week through the Sunday of next week, so 8/10 through 8/13, there's also not going to be a night stream. The reason is I'm traveling with my wife to North Carolina to meet up with her friends from college. She was really close with them. She doesn't have many friends up here, and, you know, we've been stressing out and working really hard with our daughter and all of that stuff. So I think that, you know, it's going to be a really good trip, a good and necessary trip, you know, to get away and hang out with some friends, have some fun and stuff like that. And, you know, it's really important to her to do that. And I want to be able to go down there with her to do that. So we're traveling down to North Carolina. We live in Ohio right now. So I'm not going to be here, so I won't be able to stream. I'm going to try to schedule some releases. So I'll see if I can figure it out on YouTube so I can get some VODs to release on those days. If I can't figure that out, I might just release a ton of stuff right before I leave. But I'll try to release on those days as much as possible. It is depending on our traveling schedule. It's possible I might be able to come back on Sunday the 13th and stream. I may have, you know, driven maybe not 10 hours. Would it be like 8 hours or something before I do it? We'll see. So it might be later than usual if it does happen at all on Sunday. But I might be able to do it then. If not, I'll be back on Monday. And then the schedule should normalize after that. My classes do start on 8/27, I believe. I'll have to double check that, but that shouldn't affect my stream schedule at all. You know, I'm going to have everything prepped and ready to go, and it shouldn't affect the stream schedule. I'm still going to do the patch analysis on 7.15, or on 8.9 about patch 7.15 for League of Legends. I'm still going to cover Norska as soon as I get back, as soon as I can on 8.14. I will cover Norska. I know it gets released on the 10th, but that just coincides with this trip, and it's a really important trip for my wife. I wanted to cover it day one, but it's okay. We'll wait a couple of days. I don't think it'll be a big deal. I'll do a ton of episodes and just release a lot of content for that as soon as it comes out. So if you're interested in Warhammer, if you're interested in the new Norska stuff coming out, be sure to stay tuned, and I will have that ready probably by the 14th for you. There's a very outside shot, depending on when we leave on Thursday, on 8/10. And when they decide to drop and release that. If they release it at midnight, now that company is based in Europe. The Warhammer company is based in Europe, so I'm not sure about their release time or date or whatever. But if they drop it sometime around midnight or sometime like really early in the morning, I might be able to do like one episode or two and upload it just to give you something, just some day one stuff. But the scheduling is going to be really, really tight. I'm not sure when we have to leave Thursday morning or whatever, but I might be able to lose a little bit of sleep and give you at least one episode because I know people want that new content. But that's tenuous. We'll just have to see where it goes from there. So that's it. I just wanted to do a really quick video. Don't want this to take too long, but I just didn't want you to be in the dark about what's going on over the next couple of weeks. Usually, you know, it's like clockwork. Basically 7 days a week I stream, you know, starting at 9 or 10 p.m. So I don't want you wondering where I am. Just this happens sometimes. So I'm sorry if it's inconvenient. I'm sorry if all of a sudden you don't have something to watch live. I will say there's a lot of stuff on the channel there that you can still watch and enjoy, even if there's not a live channel or not a live stream going on. So I'll just show you that just really quick, because that's it for the announcements. But if you're new to the channel and you don't know what else we have to offer, we have all the past streams. I'll update this. It's all saved under uploads. So you can watch past streams if you want. I have playlists. So we've got a coaching playlist if you want to watch me coach other people. I think this is a wonderful way to learn like really in-depth play-by-play insights into different aspects of the game. So I highly recommend watching some of these coaching videos, particularly for champions that you enjoy. So if you really like playing Zyra, I would go through and watch some of these Zyra coaching sessions. I have in-depth guides. Like I said, I'm going to release more of these pretty soon. So Zyra is super popular, Janna's popular, Zona's pretty popular, Lulu's popular. So you can watch some of these in-depth guides if you want. I've got playlists, you know, with like 74 Janna videos, 61 Tom Kench, 10 Soraka, 33 Zyra. So there's a ton of playlists where you can watch your favorite champions. And then I have the Total War Warhammer. If you haven't checked this out, it's a pretty cool game. I think that I explain fairly well just sort of what's going on, especially in the earlier campaigns. If you're brand new to the game, you don't know anything about Total War Warhammer, I would recommend at least watching a couple of videos in my first Dwarf campaign. Now, I didn't ever finish this campaign all the way. I'm in a dominant position 50 episodes in, and I just moved on to something else because there's just so much stuff that I wanted to cover. But I do think that, you know, watching the first couple of episodes, I talk a lot about what the different stats are, like how combat's done, different like basic strategies about the game. And so that is sort of my, you know, Total War Warhammer basic crash course is episode 1 in the Dwarf, episode 1 and episode 2. For Warhammer 2, I'm just going to do an entirely separate video that's about mechanics and just explaining the basics of the game that I can send people to, but I don't have that right now for Total War Warhammer 1. It's just the first couple of Dwarf episodes. But anyways, I'm going to be uploading stuff here too. I've got a ton of this new vampire campaign that I'm going to release. I might do 2 or 3 episodes of those per day just so that I catch up, and then I've got the Dwarfs and the Savage Orcs as well, so lots of cool stuff going on there. And then of course I have these guides for League of Legends. So if you haven't watched my guides, I would highly recommend checking some of these out, like the in-depth patch analysis, the tier list video. Those are wonderful. How to carry his support and overview is just magnificent. I highly recommend that. That's something that everybody needs to watch if they play support, or if they get autofill to support, or they have a friend that plays support. Very important. And pick, ban, dodge. So you definitely have to watch these 2 videos. If you haven't watched them on the channel, they will change your life. You will gain so much elo from watching these videos. Now, they are kind of long, so if you look at this, you know, it is like an hour long, but you got to remember there are timestamps here, so you do not have to watch the whole thing if you want. So this covers like understanding compositions, like how do you actually win the game, hint, it's not win lane, win game. How to manage a lane, how to respect and understand game states, how to shot call, and the importance of vision. All of these are just crucial. And there is a Google Doc. So if you click on the Google Doc in the description, you can just kind of scroll down and just sort of get the TLDR. Of course, I guess you'd be reading it instead of watching it. But you see what I'm saying. It's a fast way to sort of navigate and look over some things that you may not otherwise have time to watch. And then for the tier list video, this is always a treat, I think, if you look at the tier list video, because I go in depth I go so in depth with this tier list, and I have a mini guide built in. So as usual, you get the wonderful timestamps here. It makes it real easy to navigate. But if you click on the Google Doc, now this one was massive. This is a really long patch notes analysis and tier list video. I highly recommend watching the patch notes too. There's a lot of stuff that changed on this patch. But the tier list video, I think it's great. It tells you where a champion is this patch relative to last patch. So Tarek shot up a lot after some of those changes. And like Soraka's up a lot, Braum's up a lot. Blitzcrank fell quite a bit on this patch, I think. Gragas fell a little bit. Tom Kedge fell a little bit. That just tells you the relative position of different champions. And then if you want to know more about a champion, you click on the little link. It'll take you to another Google Doc. This is a mini guide, so it'll tell you who the champion's good with, who they're good against, who they're bad with, who they're bad against, recommended items, runes, masteries, and if I have an in-depth guide, then it's linked. So all right there, one page, snapshot, just everything you need to know about a champion on a super basic level. So, and that's, you know, I've got that for like the top 30 supports or something. It's just a ton of supports that I have covered with that. So that's kind of like your one-stop shop for just seeing how I rate stuff, understanding why I'm rating it the way that I'm rating it. I explain it really well in the video, and then using those mini guides to just give you a basic idea about how you should be itemizing, picking runes, masteries, and like when and where you should pick certain champions in terms of composition. So anyways, ton of great stuff on the channel. There should be a lot of stuff to do even when I'm not live streaming. I know I love the live streaming. I know people love the live streaming, but it's just kind of life for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be missing for a couple of days. So I'll do the best that I can, but that's what's going on. So anyways, thank you very much. I really appreciate your patience. I hope you'll continue to stop by and check out some of the other content even when I'm not here. And yeah, we should be all back to normal on the 13th. Remember, I'm still going to be here in between these two dates, right? So, you know, from the 6th, from the Sunday through the Wednesday, I'm still going to be here. We're still going to do members nights. We're still going to be streaming, you know, every night, usual hours. It's just these small little windows over the next, just these few days over the course of 2 weeks when there will be like a blackout period on the live stream. So anyways, thank you very much. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.